Hi, everybody. It's Joe from PrepAgent. Hope you're all doing well and we're ready to begin. You guys can hear me, give me a thumbs up, and let's get started. Oh, Meek says, two investors who share a joint tenancy and rent the property. Let me see. Two investors who share a joint tenancy real property die in a car accident on their way to start renovation of the property. Who inherits the property? So if they both die, then their heirs would get the property. It's a horrible accident. Okay, so today we're doing valuation and market analysis. So of course we need to start today off with the question of what are the four essential elements of value? Who knows what's the four essential elements of value? Why, Meek? Because there's nobody else to get the property. There's nobody left who has the right of survivorship if they both die. Okay, so we have stud. Scarcity, transferability, utility, demand. Well, it wouldn't be as cheat using your example because it's cheats only when there's no heirs. And let's assume in their scenario there's heirs. Their family's still alive. It's cheat when there's no will, no family, no nothing. Okay, so scarcity, transferability, utility, and demand. Good. Scarcity, transferability, utility, demand. Remember, dust or stud. Sonia, if the screen is not clear, make sure you click on the gearbox in the bottom right and change the settings to 720 HD. Change the settings to 720 HD. Yeah, Meek says, so if there's no will in the property, can it be inherited? Yes, that is true of your money, your property, things of that nature. But if you've ever talked to lawyers who handle this stuff, it's a nightmare for your loved ones to get your money and your assets and your property if you do not write a will. That's why we recommend writing a will. But at the end of the day, they will get it. It'll just be a nightmare process for them. Okay, Stephanie says, Joe, if you're in a contract and the person dies, then it is void. And what if the property catches on fire? Oh, what's with you guys on fire and death? You guys are all about that today. Okay, so Stephanie, if you're in a contract and the person dies, it is void. Yes, they got to be a capable party. I mean, assume you're not just talking about a real estate contract, but a general contract. Yeah, the other party doesn't exist anymore. Okay. Now, there's three ways to determine the depreciation in your property. Do you guys know what they are? So there's three ways. Three ways. What are the three forms of depreciation? What do you guys think? What are the three forms of depreciation? Physical deterioration, functional obsolescence, economic obsolescence. Nice job, Lisa. All right, good. We'll talk about more in a little bit. Right now, let's do a question. Let's do the one that's on the board. When land is surveyed, the description should contain A, all the other options should be contained in a survey. B, a specific length and direction of the sides of the property. C, the corners of the property. And D, the area contained within the described boundaries expressed in an accepted of measure. By the way, if you guys know anybody who wants a full-time job, we are hiring, but they need to be from Washington, in the Washington state. We've relocated our headquarters to Washington. So if you guys know anybody in that area who wants a full-time job, just let us know. Make sure they're not crazy. Orientation refers to A, position on the site, B, safety standards, C, resistance to heat, or D, structure. People always talk about crazy bosses. Well, crazy employees are no walk in the park either. Okay, A, position on site. Good. And they'd be from Washington, but they'd work from their computer at home. Thanks, Stephanie. Maybe it's because I got new glasses. I feel the need to be a little wittier because I'm not as handsome as I used to be. All right, an appraiser is appraising a single-family residence and notices an abandoned gas station next door. The appraiser would logically recommend which of the following: A, rezoning of the property, B, a soils report by a civil engineer, C, a structural pest control report, or D, a toxic waste report from the EPA. What do you guys think? The toxic waste report from the EPA. Good. Lucy was contemplating opening a hardware store or a post office. She did not want to invest in a property with a high cap rate. She would probably want A, the hardware store because it has more growth potential, B, the post office because it is a lower risk, C, the hardware store because it has more potential income, or D, the post office because it has less overhead. So cap rate is related to risk. You guys got to remember that. In the capitalization method of appraising, the most difficult step is to A, establish the net income, B, establish the effective gross income, C, establish the gross income, or D, select the capitalization rate. In the meantime, Suzanne wrote me a message. Joe, I have a small problem that I read the answers first, then I read the question, and then I go back to the answers. Do you think that is okay? Kind of weird, no? Are you European? I always found like people say no when they mean yes. I don't mind glazing over things to look for things that are familiar for your studies. I mean, I used to do that. You could do that. Just make sure you're doing it with the right intention. You're kind of going there, glancing over this stuff to find key words that come up in your exam. All right. So things that come up on your exam comes from your study. So if you don't recognize one of the answers, then you shouldn't circle it. So by glancing over the answers first, you might find stuff that you are familiar to from your studies, and that can help narrow things down. Yeah, as we use that vocabulary sheet, I can't say it enough. Don't circle something you've never heard of. Don't circle something you've never heard of. So the answer was, let's look at it again, Lisa. Lisa, what was the answer to the last question? Oh, I can't go back. I didn't save that one. Post office because it was lower risk. Thanks, guys. Okay, and the answer here, selected cap rate. We got 41 people on the webinar. This is getting more popular each time. When I first did this, we had like 10 or 15. Which of the method can be used by appraisers for estimating the cost of construction? A, square footage method. B, all the other options are correct. C, unit in place method. Or D, quantity survey method. Okay, B, all the other options are correct. Only says 42. The only number I know of is 1968. All other numbers don't have meaning to me. I don't see numbers. I just see 1968. Right, guys? Because what year is 1968? Who knows? Who knows? 1968 is 1968 is federal fair housing. The year for federal fair housing. Good. Okay, which method would an appraiser most likely use to appraise a newly built one-year-old apartment building? A, income approach. B, cost approach. C, capitalization approach. Or D, market approach. Cost approach. The effectiveness of the market data approach for appraising would be limited most by which of the following? A, the financing terms of comparable property. B, types of properties that are regularly sold. C, the differences in the comparable property. Or D, economic conditions that rapidly change. Economic conditions that rapidly change, obviously. Think of it this way. If you live in, let's call it Mountain View, California, where Google is, okay? Where properties are super expensive. But if Google changes the location like the next day, that would cause a rapid economic change, and that would affect all the values. Within the month, it would affect the values, even day. All right. And it actually happened in California when Santa Clara, when they built that stadium, that new stadium right there, then all the values changed. Right after my divorce, it changed. I couldn't believe it. I was like, what? Of course, I didn't get the property. Isn't that the way it works? Okay, here we go. What is the basis of market data approach to appraisal? A, the principle of highest and best use. B, the principle of substitution. C, the principle of supply and demand. D, the principle of conformity. Yes, Levi Stadium. That's right, Meek. So the principle of conformity, Summer, is basically the principle that says your values will go up if all properties are similar. The example that I like to use for that is Miami, because they have those really colorful houses that are like pink, blue, and all the rest of it. In Miami, it works because it conforms to a general design. But if you put that house in Miami, and let's call it like Indianapolis, Indiana, then it would hurt the values because it doesn't conform to the design. So that's a principle of conformity. I hope that helps. But the answer to this one is the principle of substitution. Appreciation would be best defined as A, increase of money, increase over time. Increase of money, increase over time. I think I got to reword that. B, increase the land over time. C, increase of wealth over time. Or D, increase of value over time. And the answer is increase of value. I think I got to reword that one. Don't you think, guys? Fix the option, increase of money, increase time. That sounds weird. And so does my bad spelling sound weird, right? So also, guys, don't forget, what I'm doing now is I'm giving feedback here. We do read that. We do actually read that. Some of you guys saw I just did that feedback button on this. Please always give the feedback. I'm sorry if we don't get back to you in a prompt manner, but we do read that. We do try and get back to as many as we can. Obviously, we probably miss some because we get thousands of those a day, but we try and answer people and fix things if there's an error, or do whatever we can as a way to help people. Okay, what would be the most important to an appraiser in assessing the value of a vacant lot? A, how much the land is depreciated. B, market value. C, what the taxes would be on the property. Or D, highest and best use. D, highest and best use. Now, also don't forget the highlighted portion. You can click on and see a definition there. Speaking of feedback, as you guys know, we have that agent school site. Arthur and I are brainstorming, trying to think of the best thing to put together for you guys, so help you get business after you pass. So if you have ideas for that, let us know. We're thinking of putting together a course, doing webinars like these. We're examining other webinars that have helped people, other courses for other industries. We're really trying to put a lot of effort to put something good together for you guys. So if you have feedback on that, let us know. We're trying to look at other industries, other markets, ideas, what works for people, different things. And we're going to be doing a sample audience for a few months. So if we do that and you guys want to be part of that, I guess you call it like a focus group. Let me know. We're going to try our new ideas with some people. And you guys could say it worked, it didn't work. I mean, obviously you'll learn different things, but you'll also give us feedback on what we could do better. If you guys want to be part of that, just let me know. Okay, here we go. When an appraiser is appraising a property, he usually considers all the following except A, the property rights to be valued, B, the property identification, C, a definition of value, or D, the assessed value. Good job, Suzanne. Suzanne says the assessed value. Why did you say assessed value? Why assessed value? Isn't assessed value and appraised value the same thing? What do you guys think? Isn't assessed value and appraised value the same thing? No. Assessed value is for taxes. Good. It's done by an assessor. An appraiser cannot use that information to find the value of the property. Do we have any new people here? Who's new to the webinar? Who's new to the webinar? Anybody new? If Your first, second, or third time, let us know. Okay, as for the next question, property should value at its highest and best use. If an appraiser is appraising a parcel which has a building on the land that has no asset, he should A, establish the value by use of the cost approach. B, ignore the building in the appraisal. C, deduct the demolition cost in his appraisal. Or D, add the salvage value over his appraisal. Okay, deduct the demolition cost from his appraisal. I meant to click C. I swear I did. Okay, here we go. The most accurate determination of the age of a house can be made by inspecting the A, recorded subdivision map, B, architectural style of the house, C, tax assessor records, or D, physical condition of the house. C, tax assessor's records. Good. The primary survey line running north and south in the rectangular survey system is the A, township lines, B, range line, C, principal meridian, or D, baseline. Welcome everybody here is here for the first time. Glad everybody can make it. C, principal meridian. Baseline goes east-west, meridian goes north-south. And why do they use the survey system to identify property? Because you're not always going to have an address. It's when there's no street addresses or things like that, and you got to identify an area. The appraisal approach most likely to be used in valuing a public library building would be A, cost, B, residual, C, income, or D, market. A, cost. That's right, Stephanie. Also police and hospitals. So somebody said a courthouse, basically the cost approach is used whenever there's no income or there's no comparable properties. So when you can't evaluate income as a way to get value and there's no comparable properties, then you just evaluate how much would it cost to replace it brand new. Okay, an appraiser's primary concern when analyzing residential property is A, functional utility, B, square foot area, C, marketability and acceptability, or D, operating and fixed expenses. C, marketability and acceptability. Good. The unit comparison when using the market data approach to appraisal a single family residence is the A, capitalization rate, B, square foot, C, entire property, or D, cubic foot. What do you guys think? C, entire property. Good. Okay, so we're looking at the market data approach here again. But what are the three types of appraisals? What are the three types? Since we're talking appraisal, let's stop for a second. What are the three types of appraisals that come up on your exam? So there's three types. What are they? Who knows what they are? So a narrative is a type of report. So maybe I should have clarified a little more, because that is a good answer. So I'm not talking about the narrative, but I understand, Anahid, why you wrote that, and Andrea, I understand why you wrote that. The narrative report is a type of report. So I guess I should have said, what are the three types of appraisal methods? But just in case you guys are wondering, the narrative appraisal report is the most comprehensive report. That's the most detailed and the most comprehensive. So I do appreciate you guys bringing that up. It's good you brought that up. Okay, now the different types of appraisals are market data approach, cost approach, and income approach. The market data approach, the cost replacement approach, and the income approach. All right, guys? So we gotta know those. Which one of those would you use for your house? Which one of those would you use for your house? What do you guys think? Which one use for your house? So that'd be the market approach. Good job, Summer. That'd be the market approach. Now, all of these you guys can go into further detail about the market approach, cost approach, and the income approach. But that's kind of the idea. We come to these webinars so we can get a good foundation of everything. But it's expected that when these webinars are done, you dive into more details by either looking at your book or doing questions or looking at videos in each of these. These webinars, what our real objective is to do is to provide a solid foundation and maybe simplify things a little better. And very often make you guys take a step back to get a greater understanding of the larger concept. Because if you do that, learning those details are way easier. Okay, let's look at the question on the board. In the market data approach to appraisal, any differences between the comparables and the subject property are handled in which of the following ways? A, the subject property values are averaged to form price range. B, the comparables are adjusted to a market average. C, the comparables are adjusted to the characteristics of the subject property. Or D, subject property is adjusted to the standards by the set comparables. And the answer is C. And that's right, Stephanie. You guys should print out the keyword outline, of which I'm in the process of updating too. But also, don't forget over here in the top right, you can always print these exams. Like I said, we try and do everything we can to help you guys and cater to your individual needs. So you can print this stuff. Which of the following factors are not considered a cause of obsolescence? A, misplaced improvements. B, obsolete equipment. C, wear and tear. Or D, change of flight pattern at an airport. C, wear and tear. Remember, you got three forms of depreciation: economic obsolescence, functional obsolescence, and physical deterioration. Physical deterioration is not a form of obsolescence. All right, everybody got that? All right, good. Economic obsolescence is a cause of depreciation that can occur because of A, poor design of the property, B, factors extraneous to the property, C, an out-of-date heating system, or D, wear and tear of the property. What do you guys think? B, factors extraneous to the property. Good. The major cause of loss in value of real property is due to A, obsolescence, B, old age, C, deferred maintenance, or D, wear and tear. What do you guys think? A, obsolescence. Good. The Adams family purchased the largest and most expensive house in the new subdivision. 5 years later, when they were ready to move, they discovered the monetary value of the home had gone up proportionally less than other houses in the neighborhood. This phenomenon is an example of the principle of A, substitution, B, change, C, regression, or D, diminishing return. And this would be regressions. When you have a nice house, it's around lesser houses and values go down. All right, guys, well, that's that for today. Tomorrow, I will be doing this at 11 o'clock Pacific time, 2 o'clock Eastern time. I will also be doing the Agent School webinar tomorrow. Tomorrow I'll be doing it on Facebook events, something you could start to build before you pass your exam. So look out for that. If you don't know what I'm talking about, just go to YouTube and type in Agent School as one word, Agent School. Here, I'll type it in here. You can see it there. Make sure you subscribe to that channel. So I'll be doing that tomorrow. I'd really like to see you guys there. That'd be awesome. Because like I said, I'm trying to work on that, make that a little better to help you guys, get your feedback. And in the process, you're going to learn how to put on good events via Facebook that could help you guys acquire clients and build your business. All right, guys, thanks. Have a great evening.